You ever walk into a room and people just look at you? No, I'm not talking about that awkward, do I have toilet paper stuck to my shoe kind of look. I mean that mysterious, curious, almost magnetic look, like they're wondering, who is that guy? Well, here's the thing. You might be a lot more attractive than you think. And I'm not just talking about the six-pack and jawline kind of attractive. I'm talking about a kind of silent power, the kind that makes people drawn to you without even knowing why. So grab your drink, settle in, and let's break down the 5 subtle signs you're a highly attractive man, even if you've never realized it. Spoiler, if you relate to even 2 out of 5, you're probably hotter than a fresh pizza slice at 2 a.m. 1. People get nervous around you, and you have no clue. Why? Let's start with something weird. You walk into a room, you smile, you say hi, you're just being nice. But suddenly people fidget, they avoid eye contact. They laugh a little too hard at your jokes, even the ones that aren't funny. You ever notice that? No, you're not scary. And no, you don't have spinach in your teeth. It's because you radiate something powerful, something called presence. Attractive men often make people feel like they're under a spotlight without trying. It's like your energy walks into the room before you do. And some people just don't know how to handle it. This nervous energy is a giveaway. People act different around you, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something right. Want proof? Ever had a barista suddenly drop your coffee when you looked at her? Yeah, that wasn't an accident. That was anxiety with extra foam. 2. You get complimented on the weirdest things now. This one is hilarious. Attractive guys get compliments on everything, except the things they expect. You're expecting, hey man, you've got great style. But instead someone says, I don't know what it is, but your voice is really calming. Or, you have nice ears? Yes, ears. It happens. Here's why. People are trying to pinpoint what they like about you, but they can't. So they pick something random. This is the curse and blessing of subtle attractiveness. It's not just one thing, it's the combination. Your voice, your posture, your way of listening, your calmness under pressure. It's the full package. They just don't know how to describe it. So they're like, you smell like trust. Thanks, I guess. So next time someone compliments your shoelaces, just smile. You're attractive, bro. They're just confused. 3. People assume you're a player, even when you're just ordering a sandwich. This one is a little funny and a little annoying. Let's say you're at a cafe. You're just trying to get your sandwich, your iced coffee, maybe scroll through memes in peace. And then, the girl at the counter gives you a look. Your friends tease you. Bro, she's totally into you. You roll your eyes. You're used to this. Even when you're being quiet, polite, and low-key, you still get hit with, bet you're a heartbreaker, huh? Why does this happen? Because attractive men often get labeled as players, even if they're not. It's the combination of confidence, charisma, and a mysterious vibe. People can't figure you out, so instead of asking, they assume. They create stories in their head. You're not out here being toxic, you just smiled. That's it. Yet somehow, you've got people thinking you've got 7 girlfriends and a secret life in Italy. Take it as a compliment. They're intimidated because you seem like you could get anyone, but choose not to. That restraint, that's sexy. 4. People listen when you speak, even if you're saying something basic. You could say, I think pineapple on pizza is underrated. And suddenly, everyone's listening like you just solved world hunger. Why? Because attractive men often have a presence that demands attention, even when they're just vibing. It's not about being loud. It's about how you carry yourself. You speak slowly, clearly, with intention. You're not trying to prove anything. You just talk. And when you do, people naturally quiet down and lean in. You ever notice how people stop what they're doing when you enter a conversation? Or how your opinions somehow become the final word in a group discussion? That's not luck. That's attractive energy. It's calm. It's grounded. It's confident without being cocky. You're the kind of guy people want to hear more from, even if you're just talking about your dog's weird sleeping positions. 5. You make people feel seen, even when you say very little. Here's the real magic. Attractive men don't always talk a lot. They don't always try to impress, but they do this one thing effortlessly. They make people feel important. You listen. Like, really listen. You look people in the eye, not to intimidate, but to understand. You're present in conversations. You don't check your phone every 2 seconds. You ask thoughtful questions. You remember little details. It's rare. And people notice. There's a quiet magnetism in being that guy. The one who listens more than he speaks. The guy who makes someone feel like they matter. Like they're not just background noise. That's deeply attractive. Because in a world full of noise, attention is the new luxury. And if you give it freely, without agenda, you become unforgettable. Bonus sign. You don't even realize you're attractive. Here's the kicker. The most attractive men usually have no idea how attractive they are. They're not fishing for compliments. They're not counting likes on Instagram. They're just out here living, learning, building, and being decent human beings. That's what makes them so magnetic. They don't need attention, which is exactly why they get it. They don't chase validation, which makes their presence feel safe. They don't try too hard, which makes everything they do feel authentic. So if you're sitting there thinking, wait, I've experienced a couple of these signs, but I never thought I was attractive. Well, maybe it's time to think again. The truth? Attraction isn't about being the loudest guy in the room. It's not about having model looks, luxury watches, or a car that sounds like a spaceship. It's about subtle confidence, emotional control, presence. It's about knowing who you are and not needing others to constantly confirm it for you. That's what people are drawn to. Think about the most magnetic guy you've ever seen. He probably wasn't yelling. He wasn't showing off. He was just comfortable in his own skin. That's real attractiveness. And it's probably what you've had all along. So, what now? Here's what I want you to do. Rewatch this video in your head the next time you doubt yourself. Pay attention to the little reactions people have around you. And remind yourself, you don't have to be everyone's type. You just have to be the kind of man who respects himself. The moment you stop trying to be attractive, that's when you become unignorable. So keep walking into rooms like you belong there. Because you do. If you related to even a couple of these signs, you're probably a lot more attractive than you give yourself credit for. And if you didn't, no worries. Attraction isn't born, it's built. Start small, stand tall, listen well, move with calm, and remember, a man who knows his worth doesn't need to prove it. Thanks for watching. Stay magnetic, and maybe go compliment someone's ears today. You never know what they're going through. Peace.